Over the course of this series, we have journeyed through the entire life cycle of customer communication. We began by building the architecture of trust and mastering the nuances of active discovery. We learned how to navigate the inevitable friction of difficult conversations, and we mastered the delicate, courageous art of delivering bad news with extreme ownership. If you have applied these frameworks, you have successfully guided your customer through the transaction. The contract is signed, the product is delivered, the immediate problem is solved. For the amateur, this is where the relationship ends. The amateur views the close of the sale as the finish line. They take their commission, they pack up their tools, and they move on to the next prospect. For the professional, the close of the sale is not the finish line, it is the starting line. Today, we will explore the final and most lucrative phase of the customer journey, the post-sale ecosystem. We will learn how to transform a one-time, transactional interaction into a deeply rooted, long-term partnership. We will examine the psychology of the surprise and delight principle. We will design a systematic follow-up cadence. We will learn how to extract invaluable feedback. And finally, we will learn how to turn your most satisfied customers into your most aggressive advocates. Let us begin with the psychology of retention. To keep a customer, you must understand the surprise and delight principle. In business, customer satisfaction is a baseline requirement. It is not a competitive advantage. If a customer pays you for a service and you provide exactly that service, they are satisfied. But satisfaction does not breed loyalty. Satisfaction simply means you did not fail. If a competitor comes along tomorrow offering the exact same baseline satisfaction for 10% less money, your satisfied customer will leave you. Loyalty is not generated by meeting expectations. Loyalty is generated by exceeding them in unexpected ways. The human brain is wired to notice anomalies. When an experience perfectly matches our expectations, it fades into the background noise of our daily lives. But when an experience breaks our expectations in a positive way, our brain releases dopamine. We form a powerful, positive emotional memory. This is the essence of surprise and delight. It does not require massive financial investment. It requires thoughtful, proactive communication. It is the handwritten thank you note sent 2 weeks after the onboarding process. It is the unexpected phone call simply to say, I saw this article about your industry and thought of our conversation last month. It is the proactive system audit you perform on their account, unprompted, to save them a few dollars on their monthly bill. These small, unexpected gestures signal to the customer that they are not just a line item on your spreadsheet, they are a valued partner. You elevate the experience from a mechanical transaction to a human connection. However, surprise and delight cannot be your only post-sale strategy. It must be built on top of a highly structured foundation. You must create a rigorous follow-up cadence. One of the most dangerous periods in the customer lifecycle is the immediate aftermath of a purchase. This is the window where buyer's remorse sets in. The customer has spent their capital, and they are now waiting to see if your promises will materialize. If you go silent during this period, their anxiety will spike. They will feel abandoned. A follow-up cadence is a systematic schedule for checking in. It ensures that you are guiding the customer through the realization of value. But there is a fine line between being supportive and being spammy. Spammy follow-up is entirely self-serving. It sounds like just checking in to see if you need to buy anything else. It provides zero value to the customer. Supportive follow-up is entirely customer-centric. Every touchpoint must have a specific, valuable purpose. A professional cadence might look like this: Day 1, a welcome message and a clear outline of the next steps. Day 7, a brief check-in to ensure the implementation is proceeding without technical friction. Day 30, a strategic review to measure the initial results against the original goals we uncovered during the discovery phase. Day 90, a forward-looking conversation about optimizing their usage and sharing new best practices. By designing this cadence in advance, you remove the guesswork. You train the customer to expect your presence as a steady, guiding force. You do not wait for them to call you with a problem. You call them to ensure the problem never materializes. As you execute this cadence, you will earn the right to ask for something incredibly valuable. You will earn the right to ask for feedback. Many professionals are terrified of asking for feedback. They view it as an invitation for criticism. They operate under the illusion that if the customer is quiet, the customer is happy. This is a fatal assumption. Silence is not the absence of friction. Silence is often the sound of the customer quietly taking their business elsewhere. You must actively solicit honest reviews and constructive criticism. When you ask for feedback, you are communicating humility and a relentless desire to improve. You say, "Our goal is to be the best partner you have ever worked with. To do that, I need your absolute honesty. What is one thing we could have done better during this rollout?" Notice the phrasing. You are not asking, "Did we do a good job?" That invites a polite, useless yes. You are assuming there is room for improvement, and you are giving them permission to point it out. When they give you constructive criticism, do not defend yourself. Thank them. Treat their feedback as a strategic gift. By implementing their suggestions, you prove that their voice matters. You deepen their emotional investment in your shared success. Finally, as you surprise and delight, as you execute your cadence, and as you refine your service through their feedback, a transformation occurs. The customer stops viewing you as a vendor. They begin to view you as an extension of their own team. This is the pinnacle of the relationship. This is when a customer becomes an advocate. An advocate is someone who is so thrilled with your service that they are willing to stake their own reputation on recommending you to others. But advocacy rarely happens by accident. You must identify your most satisfied clients and empower them to refer new business to you. When a customer praises your work, do not just say thank you. Say, "I am so glad we could deliver these results for you. We love working with leaders like you. If you know anyone else in your network who is struggling with these same challenges, I would be honored if you introduced us." You have provided immense value to them. It is entirely appropriate to ask them to help you provide that value to others. Let us review. The close of the sale is the beginning of the relationship. You build long-term loyalty by utilizing the surprise and delight principle, exceeding baseline expectations with unexpected, thoughtful gestures. You protect the customer from buyer's remorse by designing a systematic, value-driven follow-up cadence. You continuously improve your service by courageously asking for honest, constructive feedback, and you multiply your success by identifying your champions and empowering them to become vocal advocates for your brand. Communication is not just about exchanging information. It is about managing human emotion, building unshakable trust, and navigating the complexities of human relationships. When you master these skills, you do not just survive in business. You become indispensable. Thank you for joining me on this journey.